Welcome back to the channel. Tony here. So today we're doing a shop day and we're going to be working on the bike. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing this stabilizer for the Africa Twin. So here's how it comes. Comes with your riser, bolts, your mounts and everything. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So we went ahead and took off all the fairing, and I took off this piece here so that I would have access to this nut underneath here. You might be able to do it without doing that, but I have other things I need to do. So I just thought I'd just take it off so I'd have access to this bolt right here underneath. So we will be removing the handlebars and removing these two mounts here and then go ahead and do the installation. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that. But yeah, you can see I can have access here now through here. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so here you can see we have all the components. So there's the unit itself, this adjustability and so on. This is the mount. I was wanting to get one of these, so I'm glad it came with that. I do have a set of risers, which I'm going to attempt to use once I get this installed. And then it's just similar to this. And then we have this unit here, which I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look and see what this is doing. But we'll go ahead and dig into it. And then they give you these two bolts right here. And then it looks like this unit threads in something like that into here. Let's take a look. So we have the instructions, and we're going to go ahead and sit down and read these. There's also a digital one online too. So hopefully it's pretty straightforward, but we'll go ahead and take a look. All right, so after reading the manual, so we went ahead and detached the handlebars to get them up out of the way. So what we need to do is we need to take this top piece off. So we got to loosen this, we got to loosen these guys, and we got to remove this piece. Take these off, and then put the new ones back on here, and so on, and then put that piece that goes underneath here for the steering. So we do have to redo some of our wiring. So that's part of the process right now. It's just getting as much stuff off out of the way so that I can do that. I might have to pull the tank, but we'll see. All right, so let's go ahead and take this guy off. So we'll loosen that, loosen these, pull that off. Yeah, it looks like the ignition is attached to that. We don't have to completely, we just need to get it up and out of the way. So let's see what happens. All right, so we're removing this. This is a 30 millimeter. We'll go ahead and loosen these guys. They're pretty loose. That's not good. We won't take them out, we'll just loosen them up. Yeah, that one was loose too. All right, so we got those loose. I don't suspect it's going to give up easy. All right, so we're pulling these nuts off right here, which should loosen up those pieces. All right, we should be able to remove these. Okay, now we just got to get this guy off. Hey, I have a question for you.
Is it on?
Oh, yeah. I get it. So I've loosened this guy up.
Yeah.
And I just want to pop it off.
Yeah.
Is that something you just kind of like tap on?
Yeah, you're gonna have to tap the whole thing because it's kind of like a tapered and press fit. So like these two are still gonna hold on.
Okay.
And that's gonna be biting just a little. So just like have a rubber mallet, just be like tap, 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 tap.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see if we can tap this off somehow. So we're just going to take this up into here. Yeah, there it goes. All right, some more tapping. Yeah, there she comes. All right, take a look. See what we got. That's moving slowly. It's moving little by little. I think maybe one more should do it. No, we'll just keep going. All right, so we got her loose. There she is. So we should have access to this area right here, is where we got to mount that piece. So let's just do a dry fit and see what happens. That's nice and dirty. We'll go ahead and clean that off. So it shows it something like that. All right, so it shows it fitting something like this. Right there like that. And then that sits back on top of there. So then we got to tighten up that piece right there. So we're going to check and make sure everything's got Loctite on it. So that was our dry fit. So you all know I'm pretty big on dry fitting. We'll clean that up. All right, so we'll go ahead and get this on in its proper position. So they say to center it, and you can see that it's pretty much centered. I don't know if you can see, but on that little tank mount, and it's not going down any further. So it's not like I can pound it down. It's going to be tricky to get to that, but we'll go ahead and I don't know if you can see it, but we've got to tighten that one. Yeah, we got to tighten that little screw way down there. All right, so we'll go ahead and get in here. We just want to get it a little bit snug, and then we can kind of play around and make sure it's where it needs to be. That seems to be where it needs to be. So we're going to go ahead and tighten it down. We're just hand tightening it with this wrench. All right, so you can see this guy's installed, and it's centered on the little nuts right there. And this isn't really not, thought that was going to be an issue, but it's not. So let's just see. So next we got to set this back down on there and see what from there. So they are recommending that I put these on, but I'm going to wait because I don't think that it's just going to be in the way. So we're going to go ahead and get this started and then we'll see. So I am glad I took all this stuff off because this would really be hard to get to. All right, so let's go ahead and see if we can get this back on gently. Let's get it started. There she goes. Don't want to force anything. See how everything fits. Okay, so I'm hitting something all the way to the right. One thing you need to do on this is you have to turn all the way to the right to get this down. All right, well, it's slowly going down. There it goes. Just slowly, like the first time. It eventually goes. I think what we might do is go ahead and put the nut on here. So we'll go ahead and put this. There it goes. Let's make sure nothing's getting pinched. I think we got something being pinched there, so let's take a look. All right, so we're good. We're good. Nothing being pinched. There it goes. We're just getting it snug for right now. We'll get it down to specs here in a minute. All right, let's see what those specs are, which is 100 Newton. All right, 100 Newton. Go ahead and get out our trusty. Again, that's a 30 millimeter nut. There we go. Everything's looking pretty good. I was kind of wary about taking this sucker off. All right, all tightened up. Thing looks good. Okay, so this thing's supposed to go somewhere like that. Let's go ahead and turn this one all the way. We want this to go like so. Make sure nothing's in the way, because the other one is a bolt that you put a nut on, and this is the other way around. So they do say to go ahead and put that on, put this on first, but that doesn't make sense to me. So we're not putting it on first. There it goes. All right, that's all we're going to do for now. We'll get the other one in. All right, so we'll open this up. All right, well, I think we're aligned, so we're going to go ahead and put the stuff on. Also, make sure you have the groove going up and the flat side down. That's pretty much how they come, just in case you mix them up. All right, so we got the anti-seize. It's pretty clean, you know, the way they do this and this mount here. All right, so we got everything tightened up. Everything's sorted out. There is no rubber bushing. As you can see how tight that is right there. You can see how tight that is. That bushing just would have got squished flat and really not done anything. So it's really designed to have no bushing. I guess they don't want this moving. Yeah, everything seems to be working fine. I just need to tighten this down. I am going to put a riser on this. So I'm going to be raising this up a little bit. But probably next week for that. But one thing that I do notice is right now it's not stiff, but it just stops. So before, because right now it's freewheeling, it's not on the ground or anything. But before, if I went like that, it would go all the way until it stopped, or it would go all the way. Here it stops wherever I want it, and it stays there. So that's just on the setting 1. So, you know, you can see that it's, and you can kind of hear it. working. So that's setting 1. We're going to go ahead. We've got everything all done and tightened up. We're happy with it. We're just going to, we have to tighten up these. We just want to make sure the handlebars are where we want them. And then we're going to go ahead and put everything back together and give it a test ride. But I think, yeah, taking all this stuff off really made it a lot easier. It really would have been a lot more frustrating to try and work around all that stuff. So I'm liking the look of it. I'm kind of glad I got the red and not the black, because I like the contrast. I don't want everything to be black or everything to be red or whatever. So I really do like the contrast. So we're going to go ahead and put it back together and then give it a test. So let's see how she does. All right, so the bike's all put back together. And right now we're on setting 2. I started out on setting 1. I really liked it. So the first thing that I noticed in setting 1 is that when I would come to a stop, it felt like it was on rails. So before, it used to wiggle. So as you came to a stop, because that front end, you know, it's just, there's no resistance, and it would just wiggle. And it was always unnerving, especially, you know, with weight, and, you know, just, I just didn't like it. So now with this on setting 2, because I started on setting 1 and I wanted to see how setting 2 would be, and it just feels like it's on rails. It's windy. The bike's not shaking at all. It's just a difference between night and day. Now, I won't be able to totally test everything out today, because I'm just moving really slowly in increments of the settings. What's really good about the settings is that, let's say we're on a highway and you want high settings or for whatever, or dirt or whatever. Well, as soon as you get off that highway, you just spin the dial and put it to where you want it. So the modes, the adjustability is really, really good. So right now we're just taking a leisure little ride. Again, it's windy, and it just feels like it's on rails. We'll have to test it out with weight and higher speeds. I won't be able to get up to any of the high speeds today, but at least we'll be able to, I might hit a gravel road, we'll see, and see how that acts. We'll start with 1, and then we'll move up, and we'll see what the difference that we get. Hopefully we'll hit a little bit of sand, and we'll just see. But so far I'm loving it. I mean, it's a game changer. It makes this bike feel so much better. It's so stable. It's like on rails. Before, it used to be a little shaky. You know, and it's going to be different for everybody, because, you know, it's a heavier bike than most Africa Twins. It's got a lot of junk on it. I'm heavy, so, and then, you know, I have knobbies, so tire pressure, all that stuff, tires, all contribute to the way the bike reacts and slow maneuvering. But I can just tell you, it's night and day from when I didn't have it with the same setup, tires and so on. No weight. I don't have 100 pounds of weight on it. We'll see what that looks like eventually. But yeah, I really do like it. The install was fairly straightforward. I do recommend taking off the fairings and opening up that area as much as possible so you can really see what's going on. Unfortunately, I wasn't really paying 100% attention, and I ended up pinching the line for my heated grip on the throttle side. So, you know, they do talk about that, and I thought I looked and saw everything, but apparently I missed one, and it just sheared it off like a clipper. So make sure you're careful with where your wiring goes. I was able to move most of my wiring, except for one wire, the wire for my cruise control. So I'm going to reroute that, but I need to, I've got some other mods to do, and I'll reroute that when I do that. and then it'll be totally clean otherwise. I like the red color because it stands out. If I'm looking for it, it doesn't just blend in with everything else, and the knob stands out. So I think having the red one, for me, I like that contrast. Really worked out. Again, it's windy, and it just feels so stable. I will have to say I love it. But so far, I don't, again, I'm playing really slow and cautious with the settings because I need to see how the bike reacts each time I change a setting. But right now we'll keep it on 2, and we're going to go through some twisties here, see how that reacts. But again, it's just solid as a rock. I'd be curious to take my hands off the handlebar when I get in a straightaway, but it's pretty windy, so I probably won't. How's the song go? Solid as a rock. Yeah, even the slow speed switchbacks and stuff, there's no wiggle wobble or anything. It's just like on rails. Sometimes when you dip the bike down at slow speeds, the front end wants to wiggle a little bit, but not now. All right, so we're on some gravel roads right now, and I switched it to number 1. So we'll just see how that works. So far, I mean, it feels really stable. Again, this is an improved gravel road. This is not anything that you would be concerned about anyways, but it just feels super solid.